Hello, it's the end of the decade, and Excel has improved so much over the last 10 years that I want to share with you what my top 10 Excel new features are of the 2010s. If you like this video, then I will be doing a lot more of these top things in the 2010s, covering other Excel stuff, Power BI, Power Query, PowerPoint, and I'll also have top stuff over the last year as well. So I'm going to give you my top 10 picks. If you have a different set of picks, then feel free to write in the comments below what you enjoyed. So let's get going. So in number 10th place, we have ideas. Now, ideas works best if you have data that's set up using the format as table. It's on the ideas button on the home tab, and it came out only this year, so it's Excel 365 only. It pops up with this list on the right of different ideas for your data. If you like what you see, for example, alcohol abuse has noticeably higher hours attended, click on the Insert Pivot Chart here, and it will create a new sheet with a pivot table and the associated one there. Now, you can scroll through the list. Some of them are not that useful, so it's up to you to sort of go through and see what you have. There's things like maximums, trends, like this one, using filters and seeing what that gives, or even histograms that you can insert there as well. All right, so that's that pick. I will be going through these quite fast, but I do have more videos on each of these features, including 3 more on ideas that I'll link to you in the description below. So next we have slices. Now slices came in Excel 2010 and got enhanced in 13. On the Insert tab, you have slices here. This is just a list of all your column names. So I'm going to go with, say, country, and let's say, for example, ethnicity, like that. And these are basically pop-up slices. So if I click on New Zealand, as you can see, the country column is filtering for only New Zealand. It uses the same filters. I can unfilter it that way. And I can also use multiple ones or control-click to select many. And that's my clear filters button there. I'm going to delete these 2 because I've already created a bunch elsewhere. Where they really come cool, though, is when you have dashboards like this. So they can link to multiple pivot tables at the same time. And if you click on things, then it will select those like that. So as you can see, the charts are changing based on what the user selects. You can click multiple at the same time as well. From Excel 2016, that gave us the new chart types, including these statistical chart types. You can now use them as well with these chart types. So we have box and whiskers, we have histograms, and we have Pareto charts as well. So I have more videos on how to use these that I'll link to as well, like I said. So that's my number 9, slices. My number 8 is waterfall charts. So a waterfall chart is really useful for explaining what happened from point A to point B. For example, here in 2018, our profit numbers were 100 million, and they were 70 in 2019. But even though it's gone down, that doesn't mean that everything's meant a decrease. For example, our new products have meant that we have gone up by 70, 40 for extra sales, and these have gone down as well. So set your data up like this, then select it, go to Insert, and here you have a waterfall chart. And the final step is you want to mark this as a total, the gray one. So to do that, you click once to select all of them. You click twice and it selects just that data point. Then if you right click, you can choose this Set as Total feature. This is only available for waterfall charts because it's a feature of the waterfall chart, and I would use it at the beginning and the end. And there you are. Like another chart, you can format the colors, the styles, and add elements to it as you wish to as well. Sparklines. So Sparklines came in Excel 2010, and they are used for trends. So they are in-cell charts. You can select the cell where you want the output to be, go to Insert, and then here you have the Sparklines section. I mainly choose the first one. I don't particularly like the other 2 because it's just for trends, so it needs to be simple. Click on your data range like this, press OK, and you get this little trend line. So 300, 320 is up, 330 is up, back down there. You can drag it down because it's in a cell. So you can do that because it's in a cell. And then you can add these features like markers or change the color or other things there as well. There are other things you can change, but I'm only going to briefly cover the overview in this video. So that's my number 7. My number 6, Power Pivot. Now, Power Pivot is a huge upgrade to Excel. It got pre-built into Excel 2013 for professional users, and it's in every version of Excel from 2019 onwards. They allow you to do multiple things, including link to different tables. So here I have genuine table relationships between my tables. If you go to the Data tab, you have go to the Power Pivot window here, or you have this relationships view there. So this relationships view shows I have 2 relationships between the city and the feedback table, the city and the sales by year table as well. We've seen both of these already. The feedback table is the one I showed you for ideas. The sales by year one is the one that we went through for Sparklines. So here I have my data. And if I want to analyze it, I can click on the field list to pop this up. And as you can see, I can have multiple tables here. Here I have 3 tables that are feeding this pivot table. The sum of sales, the city from the top level table there, and some stuff about the beneficiaries, which comes from the feedback table. You can also create your own custom functions, custom formulas inside your pivot table by right-clicking on one of these and clicking Add Measure. Then you can use DAX formula language to actually create new functions. It's similar to Excel's formula language, but it's got a lot of different things as well. For example, the very, very broadly used calculate function. This is the same formula language that's used in Power BI actually. You can get things that you can't with normal pivot tables. For example, these are measures. I can right click and edit. And this is saying, well, how many beneficiaries are there where the feedback is high? And then I want it broken down by city. So these are things that you won't be able to use with the normal pivot tables. And you can even have a measure that transcends multiple tables, like targets versus actuals. That becomes very useful. So Power Pivot is absolutely huge, and I'm not going to give it justice in this video, but I just wanted to list it in my top 10. Why is it not higher in the list? Because honestly, I do a lot of these calculations in Power BI rather than Excel. Even though it was revolutionary, I generally don't use it that much in Excel's version. So bringing up the top 5, we have a new function called text join. This is the only new function I've had in the list, but this is the one that I think is brilliant. So for forever, we had a way to join text together using the and symbol. This is effectively like saying plus for numbers with text. So I can say UK and France, UK plus France. Well, if and is the equivalent of plus, the equivalent of sum is this new text join function that came in Excel 2019. You have your delimiter, which you specify first. So speech marks, comma, space, speech marks I'm going to do. And then next one, comma, to move to the next input. What to do with empty cells, I'm going to press tab to lock in true, comma, and now I can do what do I want to join, a little bit like the sum function. In this case, I'm just going to do all of these, which can give you the data range, or in a table can give you a bit different. And there you go. These are all of these separated with a comma. We're going to talk about dynamic arrays later, so stick around for that, some more features. And with dynamic arrays plus text join, you can even embed an if statement into it. So I want to say, give me all the countries in Europe, and then drag it down. Give me all the countries in Asia, and have it grow dynamically because it is using this feature. So as I said, this is my only instance of a function that's appeared in my top 10 list. Honorable mentions, I really like the switch function, which is better than nested if functions. And I like the aggregate function as well, which allows you to do a sum or an average, but ignoring things like ignoring filtered values or ignoring hidden. So if I do 9 comma, you can choose what to ignore, like hidden rows, error values, or double counting as well. So yeah, those are some of my other top features. So looking at flash fill. Now, flash fill is a really, really cool trick that got introduced to Excel 2013 that allows you to extract things. So I'm going to delete this. Let's say I want to get the given name here. I can write the first entry, select my data, go to data, and choose here flash fill. As you can see, it's just giving that detail. Now, if I want something a lot more complicated, I can, for example, say here LILY, and then flash fill again. But then I have some more things to change. So for example, here, I want these two to not be in uppercase. But flash fill is live. It's actually a machine learning algorithm, which means if I change one, watch what happens to this one. Next change, I want to say Downey Jr., and then these two that also have double-barreled last names can also fill down like that, which is pretty awesome. So it can combine different columns as well. So I could say, for example, Eva buys games. It can change casing as we've seen, and it can also extract things as well. And what's important to know is flash fill is live. It uses machine learning to guess better outputs the more information we give it. So I really like that. Again, I have a more in-depth video that's not even a particularly long one that goes into how this works, because I think it's really, really fantastic, and that's why it is at my number 4. Number 3, Power Query, another huge feature that I'm not going to go into detail on this video because I can't give it justice, but I just want to show it to you. What it can do is it can do different kinds of transformations from your data. You can get data from multiple places, including your current Excel file, another workbook, a text CSV file, or one of my favorites from a folder where you have multiple files with the same format. I use that a lot. In this case, I'm just going to get data from this. So I'm going to select it and go from table or range. Again, works best if you use the table feature in Excel. And then you can do all sorts of different things. So I can, for example, select these two and transform and merge columns. I can say I want a separator that is a dash and choose the name city, country, like that. I can also do this beautiful thing that is known as unpivot. I can select this one and choose unpivot other columns. And now I have the year. Let's rename that to year. And let's rename this to sales. I've wanted this feature for decades before it exists, because so many Excel users set it up in a pre-pivoted way. So this unpivot thing is absolutely brilliant, and I love it. It can also give you the distribution of the data. This is a fairly new feature. So it can do kind of like a SUMIF formula for you automatically. And it can even show it to you like this already there. It can do a ton of things with merging queries, kind of like VLOOKUPs, and even with fuzzy matching different data types, add columns like year or how old it is, the age, etc. And then you can load in different ways to the Power Pivot data model or to your worksheet, kind of like this. It's all live. So if I add a new city in New Zealand with different numbers here, then if in this one I can right click and refresh, it will do all of those transformations to this one and unpivot it as well, giving me more rows, which is really, really amazing. So that's my number 3, which is Power Query. And that brings us to the top 2. And the top 2 are pretty special because the top 2 actually redefine what we've always known Excel to do. They were both released this year. The first one is linked data types. Now, what this allows you to do is create something that gives you live information based on your data. So I can write here USD GBP, USD EUR, and then let's give this a currency and convert it to a table using the Format as Table feature. A lot of the Excel features work much better like this. So once we've got it there, we can then select these two and choose the Data tab and click Stocks. So now it is looking this up live, and on each of these I can click for more information, these cards. As you can see, now the cell contains multiple things in it. And let's say I want to get the price. I can click there, plus, and I get the price column. Or I can do it from here as well. So change percent, not much there. The ticker symbol, a little bit different, things like that. It works with currency pairs. It works with stocks, bonds, company names as well. So you can get, for example, here, I can add something. I'll do it here. I'll add something for the what the market capitalization is. I can do there as well. I have number of employees. It works with geography as well. So in the same way, I can look at countries or provinces or cities, and I can get multiple things around it, like the forested area that is seen there. Now, you can refresh them with a refresh all here as well. Now, why do I think this is revolutionary? It's not because of what it is. What it is pretty simple. And there aren't that many times in my Excel life that I want to know what the armed forces size is of multiple countries at the same time. But what this is the ability to hold multiple data points inside one cell, and not reveal that, have that hidden behind the scenes. You can, for example, filter data based on something that's not even selected. A lot of these things, for example. But Microsoft has said that this is just the beginning. We have the ability to expand for more, so we know more is coming. But the other thing that's really, really practical here is that we are going to be able to get, they've already said, your own company information. So imagine that. You'll be able to write a company name, and you can then extract everything, whatever it is. Who's in charge of that product type? What the product type is, maybe even a picture of the product type. How much is the quantity on stock? All this stuff will be linked live, which is really awesome. All right, and going into my number 1, this feature has been in pre-release for a year, and the Excel community loves this feature, but I have just listed it here because it's just been released this month, actually, for everyone using Office 365. And what does this do? Dynamic arrays revolutionizes what Excel formulas are. So as you know from regular formulas, we have needed to do this. If we want to do units times price, we've needed to do that and then drag it down. No longer the case. Now we can do this. Equals units and select the whole column multiplied by price and select the whole column like that. And it gives us the output on multiple rows, sometimes even multiple columns. Now, if you type in something there, you get this spill range error that isn't particularly nice, but that's showing you that it's got the error. You can even click there and select obstructing cells, and then it will select all the ones that are standing in your way. You can also then refer to the spill range. So if you write, for example, a sum of these columns, it has this symbol with a hash tab after, and that means it's always going to be there. This is dynamic, so if the spill range expands, then this expands as well, which is really lovely. You can also use them in data validation and lots of other features as well. So with dynamic arrays also came 6 new functions. My nicest one is the one called unique. I really like that. So you could say, for example, equals unique, and then list all of these countries. And then you have all of them sorted like that. You can even use sort with unique together, which I often use to sort it as well. So sort and then unique, and it sorts it from A to Z. You can have sort by, which sorts by another field. This is just more elaborate sorting options that you have in the functions. Then you have filter. Filter is really great. So filter allows you to say, give me all of the rows of data for these 2 columns where this column is equal to 1 country. You do have to manually put in your different table column headers, which I don't quite like. I actually have another video that I'm doing on things that I like and things I don't like about dynamic arrays, and that's one of them that I don't like. Another one is it doesn't work inside a table. So if you do unique of this inside a table, it's still, it works there because this is not a table feature using the format as table. But if it was, it would give you the spill range like it does there. You have random, array, and sequence. I don't use these very much, but they are part of the 6 new functions that came with array. But what it means is a whole load of other things. I mean, I love this, but it means that you can just redefine the way that other functions used to work with. Equals transpose has been a function that's existed for ages, but only with the really non-user-friendly Control-Shift-Enter type. Now you can just do it in a cell and it will transpose it like that. And it's linked dynamically as well, which is really lovely. So there's that. And another thing that I love about it is you can just apply this to any function and it just works beautifully and magically. So what these 2 set up, linked data types and dynamic arrays for the next decade, is just immense. I cannot wait for what Excel is going to do with these 2. Another bonus thing, if you want to be using all of these features, dynamic arrays, linked data types, and even ideas, but you don't have the brand new version of Excel, you can use them, all of 3 of them, using Excel Online. So if you don't already have an Excel Online account, you can set one up for free, and that gives you access to all of these. You don't have to pay for the brand new Excel version. All right, as I said, I have a lot more videos coming out on different things that the 2010s has defined for us and different things that have been defined for us in Excel, in PowerPoint, top 10 functions, top 10 feature updates. I really like those. And I'm also going to have some stuff for the 2019 only. So if you like this video, then please click like. And also you can subscribe to my channel as well and see a lot of these new upcoming things. And finally, if you disagree with some of the decisions I've made for my top 10, things that didn't make it into the top 10, then please leave your comments in the description below. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.